Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I'm taking a few moments to read some excerpts from my new book, Wreckless Grace, A Journey to Bold Forgiveness. If you haven't gotten your copy yet, go and do that. It's available on Amazon in ebook and in paperback, and audiobook is coming soon. But thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you enjoy this short little reading. Right now I'm going to read, this is page 12 in the proof, but I don't know what that looks like in the paperback. I'm still waiting on all my author copies. But this is from chapter 2. This is the end of chapter 2. I tore my ACL in one of the most successful seasons of my college basketball career. I was getting ready to sign an overseas deal and pursue what I thought was my dream. I knew the recovery process was going to take dedication and hard work on my part, pushing myself beyond my limits. So, I did just that. I was back in 4 months from a relatively major injury. I worked out twice a day, was careful about what I ate, rehabbed my leg every day, and did everything I was asked to do in order to ensure I was back on the court, working my way toward a senior season that would allow me to continue working toward my dream of moving on to the next level. During my senior season, I was in preseason basketball workouts, along with 3 other workout classes I was required to complete in order to graduate. Between multiple workouts a day and the wear and tear from a quick recovery, I found myself battling even more injuries my senior season. I developed tendonitis in my patellar tendon and my Achilles, along with plantar fasciitis in the same leg. This is just a fancy way of saying I was in a lot of pain. Yet I played the entire season in pain. It was one of the toughest physical and mental battles I've ever had to fight. As hard and exhausting as the battle with my ACL was, it would not compare to the battle I had to fight to reach a place of forgiveness for my abuser. So many times during the physical therapy process, I questioned myself. I wondered if I would ever be the same. I even considered redshirting for a year and missing my true senior season. But I didn't quit or give up. I kept fighting. I finished the season, having played one of my best games since stepping foot on the basketball court. More importantly, I finished the season with my team despite the pain I experienced to get through it all. Don't misunderstand me. There are plenty of athletes who play through pain, so I'm not tooting my own horn, but I am trying to make a point. I believe the victory was in the battle itself. It was in the willingness to keep fighting. It was in the tenacity to remain in control of how hard I worked and how much better I would become because of it. I was deciding my pain wasn't going to keep me from accomplishing everything I'd set my heart on before my injury. It's doing the dirty work and putting in the effort to train our minds and our hearts to decide that regardless of the obstacles or the opponent we are facing, no matter how long it takes, we will stop at nothing until we come out on top. The same is true when we are working to forgive someone who we believe doesn't deserve our forgiveness. It's going to be painful, and you will question whether or not your forgiveness is worth reliving the same pain you've worked so hard to get away from. But at the end of the day, it produces so much fruit in our lives when we look back and say we are individuals striving to be more like Jesus as we work toward living outrageously bold and free lives. That we don't just claim to be victors, but that we also live it out. We have inherited victory over our enemies and have the power to live differently than the ways of the world. Forgiveness is the first step to proclaiming victory. It will require a lot of work, but it's a win worth fighting for. Because of the healing I have experienced through the process of forgiving my abuser, I am no longer reminded of what was taken from me. Instead, I am reminded of what has been given to me. I have a story that I am now able to tell without shame, a story I believe can help others, which is exactly why I have chosen to write this book. As a result, I have developed an uncommon amount of perseverance and have been granted the ability to understand grace more than I ever have. And it all started with one thing: forgiveness. The battle of forgiving your enemy may not be over for you yet, but we can find rest in knowing the battle has already been won. John 16:33.